Good morning. My name is Yaron Spiwak. I'm the music director for the Center for Spiritual Living. And let's start the morning with a beautiful song. There are places I remember all my life. Though some have changed, some forever, not for the better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have the moments when lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living in my life. I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there's no one compares to you. All these memories lose their meanings when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them in my life. I love you more. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them in my life. I loved you more in my life. I loved you more.
How beautiful you're on.
Thank you. Good
What a
morning.
good morning to you. What a great way to set the stage emotionally and mentally and energetically for our service today.
Thank you.
Yes. And welcome back. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you.
And I know you're with us today here live from Orlando on your way to Israel, right?
That's correct.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for beautiful music, ladies and gentlemen. This is Yaron Spiwak, our music director, who will be providing wonderful music for us throughout our service today. And so I look forward to sharing more of that with you, Yaron. So thank you for being here. And a good morning to each and every one of you, wherever you may be joining us from. A big hello and a big thank you for taking time out of your life today to anchor yourselves into the awareness of the divine and who you are as a divine being. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, the spiritual leader here for the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and I welcome you into our virtual space where we do our Sunday celebration service, which is exactly what is about to unfold for you today. Today, I decided to take us on a journey of multimedia slides. And so the majority of our service will be that way today. And I encourage you to sit back and relax and to enjoy this. And if they are familiar to you, then please see them with a new set of eyes. And if not, then welcome to the new visuals for you as we put on the screen our welcome slide. So we are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and we come together to support individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And so a big hello to each and every one of you, whether you're joining us today live through Zoom and or Facebook on our later date on our YouTube channel. We come together each and every Sunday morning to honor the divine that exists by means of you and by means of me. We do that through the Sanskrit act of Namaste. As you can see on the screen, that act literally, which means I bow to you in the physical sense, is by placing our hands together in prayer position, putting them over our heart, taking a deep breath in, exhaling, feeling the presence, bringing it to our nose, to our third eye, back to our nose, back to our heart. Acknowledging that energy that exists within, and as all, we bow forward and say together, Namaste, I bow to you. Remembering that this act of namaste, of bowing, is not an act of submission, it's an act of power, of strength, of understanding that the oneness of life expresses itself by means of each one of us, completely and totally and wholeheartedly. As a community, we welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders and all abilities, for we stand with you and you are safe here. Even though, yes, that's done in a metaphorical sense here in this realm of technology, we do indeed stand with you and welcome you as we welcome one and welcome all. As a community, we come together to teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. It's a collaboration of all the great wisdom teachings in the world that was put together by Dr. Ernest Holmes and published in the early 1900s. Its essence, its philosophy, it's a faith, it's a way of life, is that there's only one thing that takes place in the universe. All of that is called life. And that power, which is creative by nature, that which created life itself, matters not what we call it, but it matters that we call it often, because we both process, experience, and express this power through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, and our interactions with life. In other words, our mind. We are the full, complete expression of this mind, individualized, and we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law. And so as we tend to our thinking, our actions, our beliefs, then there is a law in the universe, the law of life, that responds to us. You'll hear it called by many other different types of laws, the law of correspondence, the law of attraction, the law of reciprocity. But it all gels down to is that which we emanate and express by means of how we show up in life returns to us. And that we process that and experience that in the totality of our consciousness. And that we're all connected through this consciousness and then experience this connection through the act of love. Love, as Dr. Holmes defines it, is the self-givingness of spirit, whose desire is to create more of itself out of itself, and the only way it can do that is through you and through me. And so today we come together to learn more about this connection that we share, about this power that we're imbued with, and how to use it in a way to not only magnify our own personal life, but the life of all, that place where we are deeply connected. So we're here to support the vision that is held here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, which is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And so I invite you right now to connect to the awakening that is transpiring and unfolding within you, as it is within me, as it is within all of us, and let's honor that together. We're going to do that by moving into our morning ritual, which is called calling in the light. You'll see on the screen a candle with an orb of light. It's symbolic of the light that exists within me and within you and within all sentient beings. And so today we perform this ceremony, this ritual, to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. And so as we feel the vibrations shift during this experience, may we become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life, which includes you and includes me. This week we learned of the passing of one of our beloved members, Marianne Phaeton. And today I would like for us to light this candle specifically for Marianne. And then let's label this, as we often do, the healing candle. And let's take a moment and put Marianne and her beloved family into this healing light so that they may continue to experience the light of the healing flame and experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine. And so I invite us to add to that anyone that may be experiencing loss or grief or pain. Which may include ourselves. The blessing that I have for us this morning is a Buddhist prayer for peace. Let me get back to that. And it reads as follows. May all beings everywhere plagued with sufferings of body and mind quickly be freed from their illnesses. May those frightened cease to be afraid. And may those bound be free. May the powerless find power, and may people think of befriending one another. May those who find themselves in trackless, fearful wilderness, the children, the aged, the unprotected, be guarded by beneficial celestials, and may they swiftly attain Buddhahood. In this context, Buddhahood is the awakening of our spiritual nature. And so let's know that for all that we bring into the light today. As we continue our ritual, we will invite Yaron onto the screen to take us through our song called Calling in the Light. And it's a call and response song, and please feel free to sing along. The lyrics for our part are on the screen.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. I am love, I am peace in my heart, I am free, I am spirit, I am soul, all together we are whole. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love.
And so let's anchor ourselves in spiritual mind treatment, affirming and knowing that there is only one power, one life, one love, one. And so I affirm for each one of us today that we become more attuned and awake and alert to this power that exists within us. And so we allow it to use us in a way to propagate itself, to radiate its inherent qualities of peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. And we consciously know that the law of life is just revealing itself through us and responding to this newfound awareness, this newfound consciousness, newfound purpose that we have in life. And so we let it do its thing through us, gladly, joyfully, and purposefully, with a deep sense of gratitude. And we let it be, as we all say together, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you for joining us in that acknowledgement of our beloved Marianne, and to kick off this Thanksgiving week for all of us with great music and connection and receptivity. I'd like to bring back onto the screen Yaron, who has a really beautiful song for us. Yaron, do you want to tell us a little bit about it, please?
Yeah, it's a song called "God Bless the Broken Road" by
Mm-hmm.
the Rascal Flats.
By Rascal Flats by Yaron Spiwak.
Oh, are we doing which one are we doing first? Maybe are we
No,
doing
that's it. No, 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 no. I'm saying it's by Rascal Flats, but being done by Yaron Spiwak.
Byron?
All right, take it away, Yaron.
Thank you. A little bit of an acoustic version of the Rascal Flats. I set out on a narrow way many years ago, hoping I would find true love along the broken road. But I got lost a time or two, what my brown kept pushing through. I couldn't see how every sign pointed straight to you. Every long lost dream led me to where you are. Others who broke my heart, they were like northern stars, pointing me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. I think about the years I spent just passing through. I'd like to have the time I lost and give it back to you. But you just smile, you take my hand. You've been there, you understand. It's all part of a grander plan that is coming true. Every long lost dream led me to where you are. Others who broke my heart, they were like northern stars, pointing me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road, that God bless the broken road, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you.
what a beautiful version of that song. I know we talked about the lyrics yesterday in the sound check rehearsal. They're just so touching. It's the lyrical aspect of the journey, really, of finding the self. That's a great way. Thank you, Yaron.
Thank you. See you in a
Thank
little
you.
bit.
Yep, see you in a bit. And so we start our message for this morning with just knowing and remembering that it is indeed November, and our theme for the month is gratitude. Today, I want to take us through a remedial remembrance of gratitude and the importance of why it is up to us to remember that it's important to have more gratitude in life and less attitude. And so today, let's anchor ourselves into the act of gratitude, to open ourselves up to being reminded as to the importance of gratitude and expressing gratitude in our life today. I'm going to begin by reading to you from the book Gratitude, a Way of Life by Louise Hay. And in it, this is written: Gratitude is a way of life. It's the active practice of thankfulness and appreciation. Being grateful can be as simple as sending positively charged thoughts out into the universe to give thanks for all that you have and all that you are. Let's take a moment and just connect to all that we have in life and all that we are. I'm going to apologize in advance that you will hear my beloved four-legged spiritual offspring barking in the background. Her caregiver on Sundays was unable to take care of her today, so she may make herself known, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm going to assume that you all will be as well. Ms. Louise Hay continues to write this. She goes, I've noticed that the universe loves gratitude. The more grateful you are, the more goodies that you get. She goes on to say, when I say goodies, I don't mean only material things. I mean all the people, places, and experiences that make life so wonderfully worth living. So wonderfully worth living. You know how great you feel when your life is filled with love and joy and health and creativity, and you get the green lights and the parking places? This is how our lives are meant to be lived. The universe is a generous, abundant giver, and it likes to be appreciated. Now, certainly, Louise is putting out there to us that life is better with the green lights and the parking places, but today, what I want us to begin to foster is a greater attitude of gratitude. So more gratitude, less attitude. Remember, that's what we're talking about. So she goes on to write here that think about how you feel when you give a friend a present. If the person looks at it and their face falls or says, oh, it's not my size or not my color, or I never use anything like that, or that all there is, then I'm sure you, or I, the individual, will have little desire to ever give that person a present again. However, if their eyes dance with delight and they're pleased and thankful, then every time you see something they would like, you want to give it to her, whether you actually do so or not. What she's speaking of here is really all about the awareness of the exchange of energy. She goes on to write that by the time I've gotten out of bed, and this is something to be admirable within Louise when she was still here on Earth, I've probably expressed gratitude 80 or 100 different people, places, things, and experiences in my life. This is a great way to start and end the day. In the evening, just before sleep, I go through the day blessing and being grateful for each experience. I also forgive myself if I feel that I've made a mistake or said something inappropriate or made a decision that was not the best. This exercise fills me with warm fuzzies, and I drift off to sleep like a happy baby. What great instructions Louise is giving us there to remember throughout the day, to remember to be grateful. She goes on to write, we even want to be grateful for the lessons that we have in life. Don't run from them, for they're little packages of treasure that's been given to us. As we learn from them, our lives change for the better. I now rejoice whenever I see another portion of the dark side of myself. I know that it means that I'm ready to let go of something that's been hindering my life. I say, thank you for showing me this so I can heal it and move on. So whether the lesson is a problem that has cropped up or an opportunity to see an old negative pattern within us that it's time to let go of, rejoice. Is that possible for you today to engage in the very thing that's been causing you challenges and issues and realize that you have the opportunity before you to choose anew? She goes on to tell us that let's begin to spend as many moments as we can every single day being grateful for all the good that is in our lives. If you have a little, which is an opinion, in your life right now, it will increase. If you have an abundant life, it will increase because this is a win-win situation. It's the nature of the universe. She goes on to say, you're happy and the universe is happy. Gratitude increases your abundance. Gratitude increases your abundance. I invite you right now to take a moment and to think in your life, where would you like to have greater abundance? And then to ask yourself, are you willing to be grateful for exactly what exists in this very moment? You know, this morning I was out walking my beloved on our morning walk, and I normally have an electronic collar on her based on some previous behavioral experiences. We need that. And I had just been reading through my preparation for today. I'm reviewing it, and I'm on a walk, and we're walking down the, I call it the bridle path here in Beverly Hills, where I live. And walking towards us is this little dog that goes crazy every time it sees another dog and a woman who's a bit frail. And there have been numerous interactions with this individual and her dog that has not been healthy and has not been good, and is oftentimes reason to have the collar and the remote control in hand, which I didn't have. And as I see her walking towards me and hearing the dog barking, I immediately thought to myself, gratitude increases my abundance. What am I to be grateful for in this very moment? And immediately I thought, what I'm grateful for is that I have the strength to hold on to my dog, to have gratitude for all the training that she's been through, to not let this situation become a situation and escalate. I'm grateful to be able to emanate energy to this particular individual with love as opposed to judge them for constantly having a dog that's out of control. And with that, I leaned down and put my beloved between my legs and squeezed her neck tight so she knew she was safe and secure. I went to stroke her head and said, no, no, no. And with that, the yapping dog and the woman, who's a bit fragile, started walking towards us. And I immediately decided that I was going to change the environment by which the experiences had previously been had and have a new one. And there was a moment, but overall it worked out really beautifully, and there was no harm, no foul, no negative energy being emanated both from her and from me, even though the dogs had a little bit on their own. But this puts into play exactly what Louise is telling us here, is that to stop in life and to engage in what we know that we have within us, which is love, and to make a choice. To not engage in fear in those moments, but to engage in love. Now, when I speak of love in this moment, what I'm speaking of love is in the context, as the Course in Miracles tells us, there's only two things that ever exist in life. It's either fear or love. And that we all have the ability, because we have the ability to choose, that second greatest gift that's been given to us, to choose love as opposed to fear. I've chosen fear in that situation with that woman and the dog and my dog before. I've even escalated it at times, and it never turned out well. It's important for us to remember that choices create changes. Choices create changes. And today I'm encouraging us to choose primarily and initially gratitude. To not choose fear, to choose love, allowing that self-givingness of spirit that is indwelled within us to multiply itself, create that abundance that Louise Hay spoke of earlier. We do this by living out exactly what Marianne Williamson tells us here. She says, typically our deepest fear is that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that, she goes, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And so often in life, we think that that act of engaging in the powerful beyond measure component means that we must do some significant thing to change the world. And yet that most significant thing can be something as simple as in the very moment choosing love, and then changing by means of the emanation and the radiance of that which we're knowing to be, to move beyond us and vibrate and create a whole new scenario that is different from the past. A return to love is the book that this is called from. So today I'm encouraging us to choose to kick that fear virus, wherever it may exist in our life, in the rear, to let it go and to begin to focus on love and to run towards our good with every thought, with every action, with every reaction, with every interaction in life itself. Because let's remember, we have choices. Choices. And if we can keep them as simple as fear or love, what an impact we can make on the world. Last week I read to you from the writings of Emmett Fox called The Golden Gate in regards to love, and I'm going to remind us of it and read it again so that we can remember the power that is at our disposal. Love is by far the most important thing of all, Mr. Fox writes. It's the golden gate of paradise. Pray for an understanding of love and meditate upon it daily. It casts out fear. It's the fulfilling of the law. It covers a multitude of sins, meaning wrong thinking. Love is absolutely invincible, for there is no difficulty that love, the self-givingness of spirit, will not conquer. No disease that enough love will not heal. No door that enough love will not open. No gulf that enough love will not bridge. No wall that enough love will not throw down. It makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble or the fear, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake, a sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you and I could love enough, we would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world. Today we have the opportunity to engage in a greater way than ever before, love by means of choosing gratitude. To be grateful that love exists. Gratitude is what we're focusing on today, and engaging in that through the awareness and the participation in the indwelling presence of love that's already there. And then to apply it in our everyday life. I love this little meme on the screen that tells us, did you know that gratitude, the very thing we're agreeing to engage in today, shields you from negativity? It makes you at least 25% happier, rewires your brain and eliminates stress. It heals, improves sleep, boosts self-esteem and performance, and enhances the experience and engagement of the law of attraction and improves relationships. What if we were to consciously choose to give thanks today, and just one of these things were to show up? Imagine if just today you could be shielded from negativity. Imagine if just today you were 25% happier. Imagine if just today you could rewire your brain to reflect your divinity. Imagine if just today you could eliminate just a little bit of stress. And imagine if just today healing was making itself known through you. Imagine if just today, through gratitude, your sleep was improved. And imagine if just today you could boost your self-esteem and your performance in life itself. And imagine if just today you could enhance your experience of the law of attraction. And imagine if just today you could improve your relationships with those you love and those that you may think you don't love. We do that by giving thanks and by knowing that Today is the only day we have, and so tomorrow we have the opportunity to choose to do that again. And to remember that it's by choosing gratitude in this day that we create a shift in our life. So the question is gratitude the secret of happiness? In other words, living in joy. Well, we've been told it in this way. Happiness does not depend on external things or objects. It's a state of equanimity, of spiritual balance that emerges from ideas, inner thoughts, and based on one's inner resources. What are your inner resources? Love. That's your inner resource. Love. The self-givingness of spirit whose desire is to create more of itself out of itself. And the only way it can do that is through you, through me. And we tap into that by tuning into that state of equanimity that exists within us as the spiritual balance that's already there. And then we express it through our ideas, our inner thoughts. We do that by being thankful, allowing ourselves to be shielded from negativity, from being a bit happier, from rewiring our brain, from eliminating stress, from healing life itself, to have better sleep and to have a greater sense of self-esteem and performance. Gratitude, just being thankful for this very moment and this very moment and this very moment. That's life, ladies and gentlemen. We're told on the screen that life is one big continuous circle of giving and receiving energy. And is your energy today love, or is it fear? Fear is just simply the absence of love. It goes on to tell us to be thankful for who and what's in your life instead of complaining about what you don't have. If you focus on gratitude, you'll start to attract prosperity and abundance. And to remember that change is always happening. And to remember, right, that that's okay. It says here, the one thing in life that never changes is change, so people say. But in reality, we all experience a struggle between accepting change and resisting it, trying to make things different and yet feeling an anxious need to keep things the same. I had that as an opportunity before me this morning when I encountered the little lady and her dog. And not that I'm trying to boast to you what my experiences was, I'm sharing it with you as a reminder to both myself and to all of us that life is changing before us. How do we want to show up in that change? Do we want to be emanations of fear or love? That we don't have to struggle in change anymore. And to remember that every single thing around us, through us, and as us is made up of energy. And so to attract the very positive, affirmative things that we want in our life, we can only do that by giving off the very energy that we desire to experience. I love this animation on the screen because it gives us an example of how we show up in life. And if we were to look at our body as it is on the screen and all of the different colors that are emanating from it as an example of the energy that we're emanating and expressing and radiating, just take a moment and ask yourself, where in your body would you like to be grateful? And what colors and energy would you radiate with this gratitude for not only your body doing its thing, and yes, it's doing it differently than it did yesterday and 2 years ago and 5 years ago, because change happens. But let's remember, what's allowing it to change is that force of life that is in it, animating it. And so we get to choose how we want to express that energy. And to remember that the first step in evoking change is to reach for a thought that feels better, according to Abraham Hicks. In other words, reaching for a thought that is reflective of love, not fear. Reaching for a thought that radiates gratitude, not feeling like there's less. Reaching for a thought of happiness and joy and peace and power, not fear. And so today we have the opportunity before us to free our mind of our attachment to the past. I had a client say to me the other day, how do we free ourselves from the restraints of the past? And we do that by freeing our mind of fear, of doubt, of misgivings. And we do that by choosing to know that love is the most important thing of all, that it's the golden gate of paradise. And to be thankful for that. And as we free our mind, the rest will follow, as In Vogue tells us in their most wonderful song from the 20th century. But what this means metaphysically is that as we open our mind and free ourselves from negative or unhappy or less than life-affirming thinking, and engage in and align with our spiritual truth of peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom, the rest will follow, because the law of life responds to us by corresponding. And so we have before us today the opportunity to use our creative energy purposefully. We have before us today the opportunity to give more of who we are as a divine being, and let that be radiated out into the universe, filled with gratitude, knowing that as we do so, what we're attracting back into our world, to our life, to our experience, is more and more and more of the very thing that we give. And to remember that every single thing is energy. And so today, let's you and I choose here on November 21st in the year 2022 to be grateful, and to be grateful as a way of life. Our beloved Yaron has written a song for us today that's all about being grateful. And I can't wait for him to share it, because you and I get to use the next 24 hours, the next 7 days a week, to look at gratitude in a new way, and not just look at it from an observant perspective, but to look at it and question, how are we showing up, and what are we grateful for? Because it's important for us to remember gratitude is not just a word, it's a way of life. And so gratitude plus forgiveness times love equals happiness. That's a simple formula for creating more happiness in our life. I affirm for you, as I affirm for me, the day and the week and the time ahead is indeed happy because of how we use our mind. Thank you. And so it is. And with that, we're going to bring Yaron on to sing this most beautiful, wonderful, new, original song regarding gratitude.
Hey, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good. Like you said, when you brought up the topic of this week, I looked for songs about being grateful and thankful, and I couldn't find many, so I wrote one. Here we go. World and on its world premiere. Grateful for freedom to pray, to cherish and love what we believe. Grateful for health, the body and mind, for being able to heal. Grateful for feelings, for sadness and joy, forgiveness and even fear. Oh, grateful for nature, the sun and the thunder, the sky when it's starting to clear. I'm grateful, grateful. Oh, I'm grateful for thee. Oh, I'm grateful, oh so grateful. I'm grateful for thee, grateful for magic, illusions and dreams, for things I don't understand. Grateful for spirit that picks me back up, making sure I won't break. Thank you for family that keeps us grounded, and friends that lifts us up high. Oh, thank you for children, the laughter and hope, a reminder to get back up and try. Oh, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. Oh, I'm grateful for thee. Oh, I'm grateful, oh, so grateful. I'm grateful for thee. Oh, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for thee. Oh, I'm grateful, oh, so grateful. I'm so grateful for thee. Grateful, I'm so grateful, grateful for thee. Oh, so grateful, I'm so grateful, so grateful for thee. Oh, I'm grateful, grateful, I'm grateful for thee. Oh, I'm grateful, so grateful. I am thankful for thee.
I'm grateful for you and for you writing that song.
Thank you.
It's
Is
so
that still being
beautiful as I
workshop?
say what?
Is that still being workshop? But thank you for letting me
That's
know.
okay. As I shared with you earlier, I believe that that song can be recorded and I think once you can get it published, it's got great legs in the metaphysical community. So beautiful. Thank you so very much. And so I know you're going to have one more song for us, and I want to say thank you to you, but I also just want to share with our community, not that you're disappearing, but that you're headed to Israel to be with your mom. And let's just be grateful for your mom. I know she's had some challenges in the last month. And so grateful for her and grateful for you that you're taking the time and the energy to go bless her and do some changes in her home so that it works for her. So fabulous. So thank you, Yaron. So now's the time in our service to support our community financially. And so I'm going to put on the screen the opportunity to do that and know that I, along with our board of trustees, are very grateful for each and every one of you and for your continued financial support for our community. The way to do that is to go to our website, CSL-LA.org, and click on donate, or you can go to the app in the App Store, Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, click on the upper left bars and the screen will come up and you can see the donate tab. Or you can mail in a check. Our address is 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, 90038. Or my phone number is on the screen. If you'd like to take care of that personally, you can contact me and I can do that. And so as we just take a moment and feel the blessings that are abundant already for us and with us and as us, let's each take a moment to participate in the conscious giving, and Yaron will take us through our conscious giving song. Feel free to sing along as we go to the various websites to support us financially, and thank you for that.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And one side aside to change my mind. Source will show me how. Love is my decision, yeah.
Thank you, Yaron. We are blessed, and so it is. So I want to remind you all that we have a weekly meditation that I lead between 8:30 and 9 a.m. on Pacific time each Wednesday. The link to that is on our website as well as on the screen right now. You can also get it on our weekly e-newsletter and or I believe those are the places. Please give yourself the gift on Wednesday morning to join in for 15, 20, usually runs about 20 minutes long. It's a beautiful way to remember who we are as divine beings and the power that we have at our disposal. We send out reminders for that throughout the week, but I encourage you to make a change in your life and to give yourself the gift of a little bit of guided meditation on Wednesday from 8:30 to 9 a.m. If for some reason you're unable to do that, we have on our website some past meditations, and Robert's going to go in this week and update those to a lot of the most recent ones, so you'll have access to those. So feel free to do that. You can also find out more on our YouTube channel. All of that information is on our website. A reminder that on December 1, we're co-sponsoring with Congregation Kolami a community observance in person as well as it's going to be online through kolami.org, World AIDS Day. We're so blessed to be able to participate in this event. We, along with Congregation Kolami, are bringing in a panel from the AIDS quilt that will be in the building in the sanctuary. And we're going to come together that evening at 7 p.m. for a really beautiful evening of support, of community, of connection. There will be a variety of different speakers there. I'm one of those, as will be our board, one of our board members, Jesus Ernesto Reyes, will be speaking. We have beautiful music that's being provided by James Harper, a musician that supports our community. Rabbi Egger will be speaking along with many others. It's going to be just a really lovely, lovely, lovely evening. And so I encourage you to make plans to be there. The link for registration, which is preferred and not required, is going to be out on our weekly e-newsletter as it was last week as well. So please make plans to be there on that Wednesday evening. There will be a maximum amount of capacity allowed in the room, and so we'd love to know who's coming. And we will ask that your vaccination, proof of vaccination, be shown at the door and or a recent COVID test. So just know that in advance. And that's it for that right now. There have definitely been questions asked about classes. I plan to start those back up at the first of the year, so be prepared for that, and I hope that you're all excited about that happening. We are diving headfirst into the holidays. And so also a reminder that every morning at 7:30 a daily text goes out. Would love to have you make sure you're receiving those, and if you'd like to add anybody to the list, they can sign up on our website and or they can sign up through the app in the App Store. A big thank you to all of you for being here. I trust and know that your week of Thanksgiving ahead will be filled with love as you will continue to love as well. A big thank you to Yaron for his beautiful music this morning and his presence all the way from Orlando, Florida, in his hotel room there, as well as a big thank you to Robert Hensley and Travis Smith this morning. And without any further ado, we are going to have some meditation music and say au revoir. And then for those of you that have joined us on Facebook, we will say au revoir to you and bid our adieu. And the CSL-LA peeps can stay on Zoom for a moment and say hello. So let's all just take in the morning. And revel in the opportunity to make a new choice. For indeed, actually, all choices are new choices. Because we're meeting them with a consciousness that's never been expressed by means of us. And so I affirm for each one of us that the consciousness by which we are emanating and expressing and being right now is imbued with the wisdom that's been shared in this time together. I'm not saying that from ego. I'm speaking of the wisdom that's been shared energetically, musically, and the divine making itself known. And so I affirm for each of us, we remember that that's at our disposal always. And we access it by saying thank you. And we begin by saying thank you simply for life itself. For our ability to choose. Thank you for the presence of the divine. And thank you for love. And thank you for the law of life that responds. And thank you to each other for the presence of life and the elevated consciousness by which you show up in life. Knowing that it is indeed making a difference right now. We let it be as we say together, amen. And so it is. May those of you that are here with us on Facebook have a joyous and fabulous Thanksgiving week ahead. Continue to share your blessings, to shed your light out into the world, and know that it shall return to you multiplied abundantly. It's the way it works. Have a blessed week. Thank you.